What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 3 Division 1 America. This is going to be the best of two second game between the houses down now on the Radiant top 5 on the Dire. This is going to move towards the Brazil server, and I'd just like to thank all you guys for tuning in here on HeflaTV 2 for this best of two set. I am Mike Loris, and I will be your sole caster for this last game, and well, game number 1 went pretty convincingly to top 5. The houses down ran some pretty weird stuff. I mean, both sides ran some pretty weird stuff. The Crystal Maiden and the Warlock being picked. Not heroes that you see every day. Hopefully we'll see some more of that weird stuff in this game, because who can say no to Warlock and Crystal Maiden? It's pretty hard. But top 5 took it pretty easily. Their Crystal Maiden was nigh unkillable. She got pretty close sometimes, but she never actually got down, so you don't get points for bringing someone down very low. And now the house is down. They're faced with the pretty hard task of recovering from that. They're going to open their draft up, though, with a Razor. If you're going to make a good game, it's really hard to go wrong with a Razor. Though against Wraith King Tidehunter, not exactly the best hero to have. The damage swing isn't going to be entirely relevant versus those heroes. Top 5, prioritizing these tanky strength heroes a lot more than I really would have expected. Wraith King Tide certainly are going to be able to put out a serious amount of damage while at the same time remaining keeping themselves alive, but it's mostly throughout their spells until Wraith King eventually gets a little bit stronger. I don't know if that's going to happen because he will probably be played as a support. I think I like Wraith King support just a little bit better in general, and of course Tidehunter is going to play in the off lane, so he'll have the Anchor Smash to keep himself alive there, as well as the Kraken Shell, but the house down can very easily get a lane that applies a lot of pressure to the Tidehunter and effectively force him completely out of the lane, and thereby slowing him down a lot. Top 5 there are on the Dire, though, so picking up the Tidehunter this early on means that they could stack creeps and then Anchor Smash them down. When you have level 3 Kraken Shell, level 4 Anchor Smash, it gets really easy to kill Ancients. You just sit in there and you take about 200 damage with clearing out like a 5 stack. It's pretty obscene. But top 5, right now, they're just looking at a couple of tanky heroes, one in the support and one in the off-lane role. The house is down with their Razor pickup. They could go in pretty much any direction they possibly want. Razor's going to ensure they get the mech early on, and it looks like they're going to heavily prioritize that Earthshaker. This is going to be in the Brazil server, so maybe you're going to go with heroes that require a little bit more finesse. With Fissures, you kind of need to have finesse. Otherwise, they go for a giant teamfight lineup where the ping may or may not be cooperating fully with them. But both sides going to be going the fairly tanky route. Razor, though, agility hero, the only agility hero in this draft so far. What the hell? There's 3 strength heroes, guys. That's just so wrong. But yeah, strength heroes reign supreme so far in this draft, and it looks like both sides going to respectively ban out some of the more premier supports in the Scarith Mage and the Shadow Shaman. With Earthshaker already in the pool and Wraith King as well, both teams are going to have to dip into their reserve of a little bit more weird supports, though still the supports aren't going to be too crazy, I don't think. Maybe another Crystal Maiden. I mean, for top 5, the Crystal Maiden will be really good in this lane. I mean, with Tidehunter Anchor Smashing, Wraith King needing the mana. For now, it's going to be Viper, though, as top 5 they actually ban out the Timbersaw. It's kind of a weird pick, or weird ban out from the top 5 side. I mean, it's obviously a very dangerous hero, especially if you're holding on to 2 strength heroes. That Whirling Death hurts. It really does hurt. But is it ban-worthy? I mean, obviously that's not a question I could definitively answer, but top 5 think that, yes, it hurts enough so that we're going to kick him out right now. Then pick up a Viper. Get a much-needed range hero onto their team, and a hero that will just put out a lot of consistent damage throughout the game. Really, Viper and Razor serving very similar roles in each respective team. They get their mechs, they serve to do a lot of damage, but at the same time stay very long in the fight and do a lot of damage throughout their sustained life, more so than random bursts or anything like that. And also, they rarely lose their lane. If you lose the lane as a Viper, then, well, you probably were never going to win that in the first place, because the lane should be stacked heavily against you. But that's going to be one of the cores for top 5, one of the 2 cores that they've already picked up, in fact, as Wraith King, as I said before, most likely going to be played as a support, though could still be played as a core. Against Razor, no, you probably don't want to do that. That's a bad plan. You don't want to be doing that, at least if you could avoid it. And the house is down. They're going to spend all of their time to pick up this next hero. Make it special, the house is down. I'm holding out for your Meepo. Ooh, hello. Well, that's not really the support I expected. I've casted enough games, guys, so that I'm not too phased by this Visage pick. I mean, I've casted the Visage Alchemist era. That was pretty fun. But it is still a lot of damage. Top 5 can dip into their weird bag of supports and pull out a Witch Doctor who's getting more and more standard, and I like that. But Visage is a hero that definitely benefits from having a lot of bursty allies. So the house is down and going to look to gear up for a tri-lane. If you lane the Visage in a dual lane, or God forbid a solo lane, you're not going to have as great a time as if he's in the tri-lane, because Soul Assumption just does so much freaking damage if you could fill that bar up. Earthshaker's okay with starting that up, but you really need someone else to drop a really big nuke, and then after that you drop an even bigger Soul Assumption, which is pretty sweet. The house is down. They're going to 4th pick a Tinker, not in preparation of any pushing coming out from top 5. They just want to have that hero for its mobility and for its burst potential. If you know the enemy is going to be very sustained through Viper sustain and Tidehunter tankiness and Voodoo Restoration, I guess just going for sheer pure burst is a kind of a way to go. I mean, it's either that or like a Lifestealer, right? And I don't really think they want to be going that route. So Tinker's going to be the pick. So Tinker, Razor going to be the cores for the houses down. They still, I mean, they could lane the Razor or Shaker Visage tri-lane. It's not the worst. Would rather see a really big burst hero for the houses down in that tri-lane, and then have Razor and Tinker solo their respective lanes. But that would of course mean the house down go aggressively tri-lane, and well, they have Centaur banned from them. I don't think they were going to go for that. They need someone who could use a little bit more farm, I believe. They do go for the route that I'm describing. In top 5, they have the Storm Spirit banned out from them. They need another core hero of their own, and it's a really smart ban from the houses down, banning out the Storm after picking up a Tinker. Oh, is this a Drow game? Is this a Drow Ranger game? I don't think it is. Like, Drow worked great with Visage, works great with Razor, but doesn't really do anything for Tinker, so as much as I would love to see it, I think the Tinker pick makes Drow just too bad. Like, she doesn't have to worry about too many heroes getting right in her face. Eventually the Wraith King and Tidehunter once they pick up their Blink Daggers. But still, it's a very, very fragile hero, so it's going to be a little bit risky if they do decide to go down that route. Top 5, what is going to be the choice for them? They know that they're probably going to be going up against a 1v1 against a Tinker or a Razor. Viper is decent enough versus the Tinker. Really, they just need to rely on their supports to shut these heroes down, since in lane, Tinker and Razor rarely ever do lose. The top 5, they're going to take their time. They have actually banked up a lot of reserve time. Trying to go through their thought process here. They are definitely going to be laning the Tidehunter in a solo lane. I think the Wraith King and Witch Doctor are going to be as support, so they have a good amount of stuns already. They don't necessarily have to highly prioritize those stuns. I think they're going to be a little bit damage light, so they want to take up a really high damage hero. This game wouldn't be terrible if they pick up a Queen of Pain, though is very burstable by the Tinker. The burst that Queen of Pain could put out is certainly going to be much needed from the top 5. It's a little bit of an older school pick, but it's still pretty viable if you get a good enough start. They could go for a little bit of a lighter role in the high mobility, lower damage in the puck. It's another great way of catching up with that Tinker and really just trying to lock him down before he teleports away, since that's what they're going to be dealing with for a good portion in this game. What is going to be a Morphling? You need damage? Call on the Waterman, because he's going to be doing lots and lots of damage, and, well, the house is down. They are going to get hit pretty hard by that. Visage, fortunately for him, does have Gravekeeper's Cloak, so as far as supports go, Visage is actually a hero that you would like to have versus Morphling. He gets pretty nice for the Visage. I think this might be, or potentially can be a solo lane Morphling for top 5, though Viper and Morphling with the Witch Doctor and Wraith King support duo, they're fairly interchangeable. The house is down. I'm still holding out for this Meepo, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's going to be an Elder Titan. Very interesting picks from the houses down. So it's going to be a solo lane Elder Titan with Tinker in a solo lane as well, and Razor in a tri-lane. It's definitely not the worst, but Elder Titan, a hero who's known pretty much for sheer damage. That's natural order aura means that Visage is going to have a field day. Earthshaker as well is going to be hitting that much harder. And if you get caught with a sleep in the March of the Machines, then with that aura on you, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. Though I think the machines actually do wake you up, so never mind. Never mind there. But still, lots of damage coming out from the Elder Titan, and they have a decent amount of burst. in order to make use of that, I mean, Tinker with the missiles is going to have a great time with that, and eventually the Dagon and E-Blade, though Laser is untouched by the aura, I'm pretty sure, since it does pure damage, is not amplified by the natural order of the Elder Titan. Here we go, guys. We are now in game, and this is going to be game number 2 of this best of 2, and still they have no Bastion announcer. Shame on them. On the house's downside, we got Laposa heading down towards bottom with Boots Speed as a starting item. Super aggressive start for this Razor. Following up is going to be Yuka on the Tinker. Following him is going to be Jubilu on the Elder Titan, and one after another it's going to be Vestius on the Visage, and Bugru. This time he's left behind and not invited to the roaming party. On the top 5 side, we got Fly playing the Morphling, and Arsevi is going to be playing the Witch Doctor this game, whereas Fly is my son, going to be handling that Wraith King. Whatever is going to be going off lane, as a Tide has enough regen to feed a small country. And that leaves Cat, who's going to be going up on top. So Cat is instead going to be conceding his role last game that he had, where he was the solo mid Templar Assassin. It is a hero that does require a good amount of finesse, and if you can't play a Templar Assassin, then you're going to do really, really poorly. I.e., watch any of my Templar Assassin games. I suck at the hero. But Morphling in the solo lane versus the Tinker, it's going to be decent enough. He's going to be face down with a very large damage disadvantage from the get-go, even if he does morph a little bit more into agility. Then at that point, you get hit a little bit too hard by your laser or rocket or whatever the Tinker wants to get early. So it's not the best way to go, though Morphling should be relatively okay. The roaming combo from the houses down is certainly capable of bursting the Morphling, but they're going to be forced to do it within the duration of one fissure, and that is sometimes a little bit challenging to do. So the roaming combination of Arsevi as well as Fly is my son. They're going to try to lock down at the very least this top lane. Elder Titan is a hero that you can very easily shut down, but they're going to go for Yuka first of all. Fly doesn't have a waveform, so this might just be a full-on dual lane for the top 5 side, while Arsevi is kind of, bumming around a little bit too much and not actually doing anything. Stop taking hits and start delivering hits. So it looks like it will be a dual lane for top 5. Very, very interesting. As far as dual lanes in the middle lane, I don't think I've ever seen Witch Doctor holding that role. It's usually Lich or a Wisp, or IO, however you want to call it. Rarely is it ever the Witch Doctor, but Witch Doctor is admittedly not too bad at the role. His base damage is pretty high, and though his base armor really, really sucks at 0, he does have as much range as you could possibly want, plus a survival tool for Fly. So if things get hairy, he can pop Voodoo Restoration, which I can only assume he's going to be going for in this particular game. And then, juice up the Morphling back up to full HP, and then the Morphling will be pretty happy that the Witch Doctor is there. The only unfortunate part about this is that they are running a dual lane mid, which means that the Morphling is going to get levels a lot slower than he ordinarily would, and really there's no way around that aside from just having Arsevi leave the lane completely. He could go top lane and mess with the Elder Titan, who has actually been getting quite a bit of gold in this lane. Versus a Viper, he's actually outlasting the Viper. That's just good Astral Spirit lasting, I suppose. You would think Fly My Son will be able to zone out this Elder Titan enough, and now they're going to open up with a Wraithfire Blast into the poison attacks. Cat, though, going to get hit really hard by the Stapler. Cat's going to keep his distance with the poison attack, and Jubilu is heading the wrong way if he wants to escape. So Fly's My Son going to give chase, and Cat has got to respect the eat-through. He will do so, and Jubilu is home free. He has the boots, and with no more slows from the Viper, he's able to just walk his way out of there. So the Viper, unfortunately for top 5, a little bit too low to convincingly chase or at least hold the Elder Titan in this area by standing right here or something like that. If the Viper had more HP, then that could certainly be a viable option, but it's going to be on the mid lane where Morphling tries to dive Tinker, but the Earthshaker was there for the fissure. Of course it had to happen in this game, right guys? It had to happen. Morphling is going to be given first blood, and I did not catch it. I am forever shamed. Might as well commit Sudoku right now, but Witch Doctor is going to survive that. It's, I guess, a win? Not really. Tinker's going to DC after that. It's a victory DC. It's the best kind of DC. So, Arsevi is unable to keep his Morphling alive enough. Trying to go for this Tinker when Tinker is level 4 and you have 2 level 2 heroes is a little bit risky. Morphling is a hero that, as far as agility heroes go early on, is capable of putting out some pretty serious damage with waveform, and if he is morphed heavily into agility, then his right clicks hurt a lot as well. But Arsevi is the Witch Doctor, since he's not going to go for Maledict, and it's most likely just going to be a cask restoration build. He's pretty much there for no damage. Like, the amount of damage he actually puts in the amount of damage that he actually puts into these fights is extremely minimal. Like, Cask is okay, and the right clicks is okay, but you really want to have something to compete with March of the Machines, or Laser, or stuff like that. Because at this point, is it worth it having NR Sevi here to leech experience, first of all, but at the same time, not contribute too much to the aggressive power? I would say if top 5 are playing this super defensively, and they had no interest in going for the Tinker whatsoever, then that would be okay, but, you know, only okay. But if they are going to be playing against Tinker and playing as they should, meaning try to shut this Tinker down before he gets fed too much and then suddenly busts out of everywhere with Boots of Travels, Daggons, Soul Rings, all the unhappy stuff, then you could certainly get a better combination for a dual lane mid. I think just having the Witch Doctor up top in order to effectively zone out Jubilu is probably going to be a little bit more effective for top 5 in the long run. The Morphling will get a little bit of levels, though ultimately the Morphling is hamstringed so much by the fact that he already did give up a kill in this lane. It might be a little bit too late to make a lane switch, which really is a sucky situation for top 5. But the house is down. They're going to be perfectly happy with this because Yuka is farming very happily in this middle lane. He'll have the Bottle Crow going on, or I guess just Bottle Courier, since the Courier has not taken Disguise yet. And then he's going to go for the very safe, very standard, max out March of the Machines build, try to get the Boots of Travels going early, and then farm everything like a madman. And also, Boogaroo in the meantime has been stacking the jungle a little bit, though not that much. So he should probably get to this stack a little bit more, but he is playing fairly defensively for Yuka in lane. This means that the mid lane is going to end up kind of in a 2v2 position. However, the Witch Doctor is definitely not absorbing as much experience as the Earthshaker. Earthshaker is just here pretty much for a contingency plan. And ideally, the Tinker should not need it unless he gets aggressed upon. And it certainly helped out last time. The Elder Titan getting a pretty good time up on top level 4, as is the Tidehunter. 6 for 2, and though Laposa is a pretty hard lane dominator as the Razor, he's not actually forcing this Tidehunter out enough. And now Tide's going to start stacking up creeps. So, surprisingly, the Razor and Viper, whereas ordinarily I would have said that they would be very, very capable of killing off the Elder Titan, or at least holding their lanes, versus the Elder Titan or the Tidehunter, then you could, in this scenario, it's just not happening. So, I don't really know what's going on, guys, because Viper should be single-handedly zoning out the Elder Titan, the Razor should be single-handedly zoning out the Tidehunter, but both of the offlane heroes are getting quite a bit, and whatever can hit with the Fissure before Boogaroo pops that regen, they're going to get into a fist fight. And I don't know if this is a fist fight that Earthshaker really wants to be fighting right now, though he does have Vestius coming behind. The Soul Assumption bar is not filling up fast enough, and Fly's going to come in as well. He doesn't actually have boots yet, so unfortunately for that Morphling, if he did have boots, I feel like that probably could have been a kill on that Earthshaker, not being the tankiest hero in the world, and, well, being at half HP doesn't hurt either. But Fly, unfortunately, will be a little bit off of that kill, and as now Fly's my son, going to circle around with NR7. He's going to spot the fact that there have been stacking a little bit of the Ancients. We'll instantly put a stop to that one, at least for another 3 minutes. Now Yuka in a little bit of trouble. They're going to wrap around for a gank. Fly's my son's going to have his smoke dispelled, and Yuka is going to be in a little bit of trouble, though. He does have Boogaroo to defend. They have a waveform and a cast. This burst damage won't be enough to kill off the Tinker. Can they ever kill off this Tinker? They will be able to. Witch Doctor actually securing the kill there. Tower shots will kill him off in trade, though. Earthshaker for Witch Doctor, or Tinker for Witch Doctor, totally worth it. Now Fly still behind this tower, though I think he's just going to leave. Yeah, Boogaroo hugging that, and he has another Fissure up. He's going to be in a little bit precarious position, but Wraith King is actually without restoratives. So, no regeneration for him behind the lines, so they're just going to take that for what it is, and that's a kill on the Tinker. And really, getting kills on the Tinker is super, super important. So many games I've casted where teams just sit back and let the Tinker farm. So, if you let the Tinker farm, you're probably going to be in for a bad time. Top 5, the dual lane is in an attempt to shut down this Tinker somewhat. It hasn't really panned out so far. Giving up one kill is just terrible. Anytime Tidehunter can get whipped down by the post in the bottom lane. Now NR Sevi gonna get whipped down as well. The cast is gonna bounce very fortunately, and the creeps will kill off Laposa. Well done, creeps. Vestius also in a little bit of trouble. He's gonna be chased down by NR Sevi, and there is boots on each side. However, the Witch Doctor's a little bit faster. Could chase him down for a cask, though I don't think he's fast enough for that. The Razor going down for a kill on the Tidehunter, making these trades where these trades really shouldn't be happening. So 3 for 2 right now, and, well, the house is down, sitting pretty comfortably, though. Yuka is going to get into a man fight with Fly. This March of the Machine is devastating the Morphling's health pool. There's no mana on Tinker, unfortunately. So we can't actually seal the deal there, but still, 19 for 1 versus the 28 for 11. This Morphling has actually been getting a lot more farm than I really would have expected. Witch Doctor, just his sheer presence alone is enough to provide some serious value. Stun up on the top lane, just halting the aggression up there. But Yuka's actually getting pretty easily outlasted by Fly, even though the Morphling has to deal with lasers and the fact that he does have a lower base damage. He can do stuff like this where he just waveforms right through and easily cleans up a couple of creeps, but that's not really the best way to farm, especially when you compare that to a March of the Machines. It's just been the pressure that Witch Doctor has been applying, and I guess getting the Morphling farm is important, but at the same time, Tinker's still getting enough of his farm. Like, they're securing the Morphling farm as they're not denying Tinker farm. And then, again, it gets to the question of whether or not that's worth it for the Witch Doctor being there. Though, to be fair, the Witch Doctor has pretty much left the lane, and he's now going to be chilling with the Tidehunter for just a little while. Looks like we have aggression all around the map. Jesus, icons flying everywhere. But yeah, Tidehunter, he's just waiting for his level 6. Once he gets that, I want to say he's instantly going to pop the Ravage and then just go to town. Meantime, top lane, though, there's a slow onto Elder Titan, but Elder Titan's pretty damn quick. He fortunately got the return of the Astral Spirit right before that Viper Strike landed, so he was really fast with that additional base. Now whatever, in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get a lot of damage stolen out from him. There's Ravage, and the damage onto Liposa with the Death Ward. Now focusing on Vestius. Whatever, going to chase this one down. Vestius going to drop a huge Soul Assumption, but now with the Anchor Smash, Vestius doing pretty much no damage. Tidehunter can man-fight this Visage and come out on top. Another Soul Assumption, but the bar is empty, and Visage is going to go down on this bottom lane. In the meantime, Boogaroo going to run into the Wraith King, pops the Haste Rune, so it looks like that's going to be it there, but the house is down. Going super aggressively versus this Tidehunter ordinarily would have been a good move, but not when the Tidehunter just hits level 6 and not when he has mana for Ravage. Because that's exactly what top 5 we're planning to do. That's the plan. Get Tidehunter level 6 and then pop the Ravage and then just go to town on everyone. I don't think they expected to get a kill on the Razor, especially now that Razor has a mech. It's going to be difficult for them to repeat that. They were planning to go for a Visage, but hey, they got both because the house is down, got a little bit too antsy and decided to go for the Tidehunter without realizing the Tidehunter was wielding that Ravage. So very dangerous plays from the house is down, and it's going to benefit top 5 very heavily in this bottom lane, and that's a lane that they could use a little bit of help in. They had this Ancient Camp blocked for quite a long time. I don't know if it was blocked by a Sentry and Observer, so I don't know if it was a 6-minute or 3-minute block, but I know it definitely was blocked. So top 5 are going to be suffering from that. So Tidehunter will now resume his stacking and try to get a little bit more income that way. He has his Arcane Boots up, which is pretty nice, but really he wants to be going for his Blink Dagger next. And without the large cash infusion from an Ancient stack, it's going to be a long way off. And then to see what the Morphling's going to be going for. It looks like he's just doing a little bit of bottle crowing action, not much of anything else on the Courier. He has gone for the Power Treads, still much needed base damage for this Morphling, but in the meantime, bottom lane, whatever's going to get chained up with the Static Link and the Plasma Field, not going to kill him off as he does find his way around that Fissure. Tidehunter with 2 points of Kraken Shell, plus the movement speed from Arcane Boots going to secure his escape there, but it's going to be the mid lane where the top 5 are going to be applying more pressure. Yuka is in a little bit of trouble, and I don't even think he knows it. Smoke from NR Sevi as well as Fly is my son. Ninja time, guys. Go for it. They see Yuka, but Yuka sees them. There's a tower shooting out the Wraith King, and Yuka is going to get his bottle delivered, so if he's going to survive this, and I think he might, this bottle's certainly going to help. There's a Death Ward instantly after the Wraithfire Blast, though. Death Ward providing so much damage. NR Sevi not scared about dropping that one. Flies my son, though, going to get dropped pretty low. Soul Assumption is available, will just be enough to kill out the Wraith King as he does try to teleport out. So it's another 1-for-1 trade for top 5, but this time they get a kill on the Tinker in exchange for a Wraith King, who's played as a support. Totally worth it once again. Gotta hand it to top 5. They are not going to let this Tinker have an easy time towards Boots of Travels. He already has a Soul Ring and Bottle, so Boots of Travels has to be the next item that the Tinker is going to pick up. But if he keeps getting ganked like this, then it's going to be really difficult for him to actually find that gold. And now with the Tidehunter in his lane, it's going to be hard for this Tinker. Very hard, as their Ancients were also blocked. Don't know what this Ancient Thunderhide is doing this far out of the camp. Wow, that sucks. I didn't realize that would be a thing. They're going to try to stack the camp anyway, but it's not going to work. In the meantime, the middle lane, well, the Familiar is just going to town onto NR Sevi, dropping him very, very low. There's a Fissure to follow up, but they don't have any further follow-up. Voodoo Restoration will bring him back up to near full soon enough. Elder Titan's going to teleport in, so the house is down. Want to make a full-out defense on this tower. Going to bring in everyone except for Liposa, who's still farming happily on the bottom lane. I think you would rather want to bring in your Razor. Or you should bring in your Razor if you want to make a full defense. But they know where Flies my son is. He is catching the fact that they are farming up this Ancient stack, and Well, the familiar is going to be sicked upon him. They have double stomps, and here comes Jubilee for the extra damage. Stomp 1, stomp 2. Jubilee's getting hit with a Wraith Fire Blast. Where's the rest of the houses down? There's some mana now for an Earthshaker Fissure, but unfortunately not enough lockdown in the area, so the Wraith King does not get punished by a super aggressive, I would say, scouting. By the way, 4-5 as it stands right now in top 5 with a pretty nice advantage. Jubilee gets aggressed upon once more in the middle lane. Slight advantage in about 1 to 2k in the golden experience for top 5. Still nothing too substantial. The most crucial part for them is that the Tinker is getting a little bit of trouble farming right now. And though he did clear off an ancient stack, he's going to continue to struggle if top 5 apply the pressure constantly, and it looks like they will do so. They have all the tools they need. Wraithfire Blast and Death Ward has proven to be pretty much all they need to get kills at all. With a Tidehunter Gush to subtract from the armor, making that Death Ward do even more damage because it is physical, then they can get kills on pretty much whoever they find. But unfortunately for them, they're not going to find anyone. Well, that sucks. Sometimes you smoke gank and find everyone, sometimes you don't. Oh wait, no, now they're in perfect position to kill off Yuka. That was the plan the whole time. Oh, plus kill an ancient stack. 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks of hard camp rather, not an ancient stack. Kill off a quad stacked hard camp with whatever taking literally no damage, having that Kraken Shell plus the Anchor Smash. A nice catch of gold, and especially if they catch out the Tinker, this might just be room service for them. Yuka gonna run down Arsevi. They know he's there. Throw the stuns, although Bugru is here as well. Will instantly cancel out the Death Ward, but Yuka's still gonna get stunned up. They have an Anchor Smash. They will not even need it. Tinker's once again going to drop. TP coming in. It's going to be the Razor, though. Has a mech, so he's ready to fight. Bo's gonna unleash that Plasma Field, do a lot of damage to the NR7, but he's still gonna survive. Here comes the Familiars. Gonna stomp 1, stomp 2. Will not do anything. Bugru does not have any mana, but he's gonna chase down Flies My Son regardless. Don't think he's going to catch anyone, because whatever's circling around has a Ravage, going to pop it, going to catch 2. Can they bring down this L-Titan and get rid of that aura? Looks like they will be able to do so. Now a slow onto the post, so he does pop his mech. Bugru going to throw the Fissure out as well, but Flies My Son, popping the Reincarnation, will just go right back onto this Earthshaker. The Familiars are in the area, but they're not doing nearly enough. They're going to focus onto whatever, but in the meantime, Earthshaker does go down. Now Vessi is completely surrounded by top 5 heroes. You will throw another Soul Assumption, get another kill on the Tidehunter, but he's going to trade his own life for it as well. That's going to be a full 5-man wipe, going the way of top 5, and they might even get a couple of couriers to boot. Let's see if they could focus their fire, and it's going to be no Familiars, in fact. Did I say couriers? That was definitely Familiars. If there were 2 couriers there, that would have been fantastic for top 5, but instead it's only just great, because they kill everyone, including the Tinker, bringing him back down to a measly 1,000 gold. Top 5, they are playing so very well right now, and well, Arsevi's Death Ward is providing some serious damage, even though even in the last fight it was only channeled for what, 1 second, 2 seconds, somewhere around there. He still got some pretty serious damage onto Yuka, which ensured the other supports were able to follow up. And now Yuka was once again going to be aggressed upon by the Wraith King, who actually doesn't have any Vamp, nor does he have any Mortal Strike. Which is kind of weird, just gone full-on stats for Flies My Son. Not usually what you see, but hey, it's the choice that he made. Fly on the top lane. He's sitting on 2,900 gold. Now, the only reason I think you would always actually losing this man fight, he doesn't have a mana for a waveform, though he does have a regen rune. He's going to be forced to strength morph a lot. This might be a kill. No. Looks like Jubilee actually loses the damage buff, and now here comes Flies My Son from the back end, though Flies My Son completely out of everything. I don't know what the plan is here, Wraith King. Not a good idea. Waveform forward from Fly, but Jubilee could probably turn this one around if he wants to. There's a replicate forward. Very short jump from Fly, going to give him a killing spree. It's a 1-for-1 trade, trading out the Wraith King once again for the L-Titan. Now, unfortunately for the Wraith King, this means that his levels are going to be slowed down even more, but Fly gets a kill nonetheless. And as I was saying, the real only reason to hold this much gold is to either surprise the enemy with your item decision, which I don't think is going to be the case this game. Lincolnster would have been great, but if he was going for that, I don't see a reason to not get just the Perseverance and or an Ultimate Orb by the time you could get it. Or if you're going to be saving this much gold, you're going to be going for a big ticket item. I wonder what item that has a component that's costing around 3,300 gold the Morphling is going to want to buy. Oh yeah, the shotgun. Now Fly, though, going to get teleported upon. Cat is here as well. They're going to throw the Earth Splitter. Will completely hit nobody. Fly and Cat both going to walk their way out. No Grave Chill, though. There is a Fissure plus Double Stomp. Fly gonna get hit pretty hard from that nuking combo, but he does Waveform off to the right. Cat, in the meantime, putting some serious damage onto that Elder Titan. The poison will burn him down. Now he's gonna change his focus to Bugru. Doesn't have that much mana, but he's not taking any damage in response, so he has all day to do this. Now he's gonna change to Vestius. Where's the support for top 5? There's a healing coming in for Cat, plus the Death Ward. Vestius is not gonna die just yet, but it's Leposa who's taking all the damage. In fact, Cat's going to go deep for this one. Leposa will go down in the end. Cat can be focused down as he does try to secure the kill on Vestius. He will do so before he dies as well. Not bad from the top 5 sides. Another 3 kill for them. The Earthshaker does manage to hobble his way out of there, and the Tinker has been farming all the while, but still top 5, proving that they could fight very, very convincingly with this Viper. He has maxed out Corrosive Skin. He has the mech up. He's ready to rock and roll at any given time. And now Tinker very boldly teleporting up to the top lane. There's the Cask, Flies My Son, and NR7 don't have that much damage. They don't have Reincarnation either on the Wraith King. He's being focused down, dropping pretty low. There's no Blink Dagger on this Tinker just yet, so it looks like everyone will successfully escape. Missile though, NR7, dodge it! No, you can't dodge it because you're not Neo. Flies My Son, he's also going to get teleported upon. The synergy is real. Boots of Travels with those familiars. And Wraith King is going to get dropped in the jungle. Don't really know why 2 supports from top 5 are going to be sticking around that deep and trying to go for a tower kill or tower pressure with just 2 supports, knowing that there's a Tinker on the other end. That's level 4 missiles, and these things hurt. You don't want to be on the receiving end of those. Just ask the Witch Doctor. Fly. He is going for that item that I was thinking of earlier. Shotgun. Soon enough, people are going to be getting facefuls of buckshot. Now let's count the people who are vulnerable to this. Elder Titan actually doesn't have that much health, considering the Tinker is going to get absolutely obliterated by it. Visage does have Gravekeeper's Cloak, which may or may not be enough to save him. I think it probably will be. Razor should be just fine. Earthshaker will not be fine. So, top 5 does have quite a few targets for this Morphling shotgun. And if he could get someone in his sights, then he could very easily bring them down. I think on bottom lane, it's going to be Visage volunteering his life up to the Morphling, because he does not know that Flies My Son and whatever are both right around the corner, though now he does know Flies My Son going to walk right in for the Wraithfire Blast, though Vestius is in a pretty good position to get away, not when whatever blinks forward and not when Fly jumps forward with the waveform. Tidehunter is going to get that kill on Visage, very easily done by these tanky heroes. And worst comes to worst, if the THD side decide to defend this tower, then they have Ravage to back it up. But it looks like instead they're going to sack that and look for a tower of their own. Cat's in the middle lane, and he's going to take a little bit of harassment, but the Razor actually just left, so he's not going to be at any part in that fight. This is going to be a free tower for top 5. Fortification is there, and they have to worry about Familiars denying it. These guys do hit pretty hard still. They have quite a few damage stacks. Let's see if these Familiars could do it. Here we go, Familiars. Well, one's going to go down, and he will get the tower deny. Well played by this Visage. Giving a little bit of gold to Fly nonetheless is going to put him a little bit closer to his Ethereal Blade, but I don't think this Familiar is going to survive. Run Familiar, Anchor Smash, physical damage. Does eat Familiars pretty easily. So he sacks both Familiars for a tower deny. Ultimately, it is worth it, but now he's going to be staring down the barrel of a double barrel. Or not. Okay, top 5 is going to wait a little bit. They're going to ship it out from top lane, and, well, Cat up in the middle lane. Boogeroo's chilling right next to him. And there's the Echo Slam, only onto 1. Plasma Field, will it be enough damage with the missiles? It just barely won't. Death Ward will ward everyone back, and nothing is there to cancel it. They're just chilling in this Death Ward. Flies My Son going to jump forward for a stun onto Jubilee, but there's no follow-up. There's a Ravage. That's some follow-up right there. Jubilee's going to get Anchor Smash, and he will get Maledicted as well. The damage will not be there, as whatever is dropping very low. Top 5 lose 2. They might kill off Boogeroo in the end, but the March of the Machines is going to prove very risky to jump into. The Wraith King will die in the end. RS7 is going to try to chase down Boogeroo. Haste Room being picked up. Needs a couple more right clicks. Not going to happen. Boogeroo, thinking of turning around, is going to decide against it. Vestius going to try to run away from Fly plus his dad. Is he fast enough to do so? Morphling going to get slowed down by a Fissure. Has a waveform to jump away. Flies My Son, not that lucky. The creeps are going to kill him off, right? Neutrals? Hero neutrals! OP, the birds. You don't mess with the birds, guys. So top 5, they lose a couple of heroes, but could have been a lot worse if the Wraith King did go down. Fighting, though, into a March of the Machines. Always, always, always a risky prospect. I don't care who you are. And also the Morphling didn't actually have the Ethereal Blade for that fight. Unfortunately, the timing of that aligned itself just so that he missed it. Just barely. And was that a Viper TP in? Yes, it was. He thought better of it. If he did TP in there, he would have been really, really dead. But they're going to slow push this mid lane. Fortification will slow them down, but again, familiar damage plus just general right clicks. Familiars are going to both stomp, and it looks like top 5 are going to make a defense. This is in deny range, this tower. There's the stomp, and hero catapult. I believe catapult. I believe. Oh, okay. Viper's going to get that deny. So it's one deny for one deny right now, and well, top 5, they're looking at crackback. They have a Ravage, not yet. For another minute, they won't have it, and this tower is actually very, very weak. I think it's about time to just deny it. They're going to throw the Earth Splitter out, which is once again going to completely whiff. Without any setup, odds are it's not going to land. Though a lot of chip damage onto Fly, and the tower will be denied. Denies everywhere. Jesus, the Spirit's going to fly through. This is going to make the Elder Titan hurt like a truck. And they will get a nice stomp. Fissure, though, kind of defensively, although they would have been happier with it on the other end. They're going to throw all the damage that they can onto NR7. He's going to pop the Death Ward immediately, but here comes Jubilee with one Stapler Blast. Getting hit with the shotgun, although only a little bit of it, as the Adapt Strike is only level 1. They do not get the kill on the Elder Titan. It's actually NR7 to be the one who dies. And now Flies My Son going to be on the run. He will be able to survive. No Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker just yet, but missiles from the side. Cat, if he gets lasered, he will go down, and he does get lasered. Flies My Son also going to get hit with that Soul Assumption. The Morphling and the Tidehunter still alive, still not willing to take any part in this fight. But the house is down, striking back, and striking back really, really hard. They have a Tinker who could return to this at the drop of a hat, but it's going to be a bottom lane push, whatever, going to get blinked upon by Yuka. Missile laser combo, or just missiles, that's fine too. As they will take down another tier 1 tower. That's going to be all tier 1 towers now taken by the house is down, and well, top 5, they still have one up top that they could take in a little bit. Just blow on it and it'll go down, but they see whatever, or they should see whatever. They have a familiar in the area, and now they definitely see him. The Tinker can teleport to this familiar and blow up this Tidehunter if he does so choose. I think this Tidehunter is going to be soon to be dead. Well, it's going to be Fly, actually. He's going to jump forward and look for Vestius, but that Gravekeeper's look giving him so much survivability. It's going to be Tinker jumping on the other end to kill off Titan. Wow, Morphling got killed by a Soul Assumption? Really? Okay, Ethereal Blade makes you. It does make yourself take that much magical damage, which usually isn't relevant. But when you're dealing with a full Soul Assumption, that did so much damage. I wish I caught that instead of the Tidehunter. I wish I was zoomed out more. But holy crap, I thought Vestius was just going to walk away. He turned around and killed the Morphling. 1v1. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. That should never happen. But Morphling, he isn't putting out as much damage with the shotgun as I would have expected. Let's see how much total HP he has. It shouldn't be that much. He has 3 strength, or 3 base strength, and no strength items. I'm kind of curious. If he was in his ethereal form, then 500 HP? Yeah, 500 HP. Risky business from the Morphling. He even agility morphed right before he threw that shotgun, you know, much as you would expect from a Morphling. But he chose the wrong target, because Gravekeeper's Cloak makes Visage nigh impervious to magical damage. At least you have to burn through those stacks first, and Morphling did not do so. So he got punished real hard by choosing a wrong target. Pretty large blunder by Fly, though his shotgun still is able to kill pretty much whoever he could find. It's not Vestius, it's not the Razor. And at this point, with the Sange being picked up on the Elder Titan, I don't think it's him either. This shotgun is going to have some serious difficulty killing who he wants. However, Yuka, that's going to be a viable kill, but not when you're not fully maxed into agility. Yuka's going to turn this one around with the laser. Fissure's going to fly as well, but both sides are going to walk away from this alive. If Morphling had full agility instead of even more in strength, then that would have been an easy kill on the Tinker. The shotgun alone would have done the job. But unfortunately, it just was not meant to be. Tinker is going to continue doing Tinker things. He has Dagon level 2, and I would like to see him stop upgrading that and start going for, at the very least, a Ghost Scepter, get a little bit of defensive capabilities up on this Tinker. And then, of course, it'll eventually be built into an Ethereal Blade, so he does have some way to go with that item. I just feel like Dagon doesn't scale as well as having that Ethereal Blade earlier on, especially when you're dealing with that Visage, because we saw how much damage that Soul Assumption did. So if you could get that reliably with your Tinker performing the Ethereal Blast instead of the Morphling, that'll be just a lot more of a secure combo for the houses down. Plus, if they have the Elder Titan there as well, that is going to hurt a lot. It's like you got no magic resistance, you're taking this huge nuke, which is going to be amplified even further by an Ethereal Blade. That's the dream combination for the houses down, but since they're not going for that, it's not going to happen in just a little while. Leposa is farming his way towards an Aghanims, and Flies My Son gonna get zapped a couple times up on top. But the Tinker doesn't actually have the most mana. I guess he came from a lane instead of the fountain. So this guy's farming up an absolute storm. Let's see if he has any more Dagon recipes. He doesn't. What did he buy? Oh, he bought another Dagon recipe. There you go. He's going to be laser blasting left, right, and center. And the house is down, just going to make use of this time in order to make sure that their Tinker does get this much farm. Now the bad thing is that Fly is also farming. So he is going to be getting more of his core items up, and it's much needed. I mean, he's pretty far behind the Razor, 800 gold. Not a huge amount, but Yuka on top lane does get caught, and he's going to get punished. It was only a matter of time before that happens. If you jump to the top lane that many times, then you will eventually go down. And it looks like that is going to give top 5 a nice little boost in confidence at the very least, but they have to defend their mid lane. So they would have liked to take down this tower and just keep on going, but they're forced back due to this familiar push from Vestius. Fly's here to defend, but we saw how well that went for him last time. Probably would do best to not repeat that mistake. Top lane, though, they have Aghanims on Viper, Aghanims on the Witch Doctor. Doesn't really help that everyone is going to get hit with the Echo Stomp, and here comes the Earth Splitter, which will hit pretty hard onto everyone, and Leposa right in the middle of everything, plus an Echo Slam from Boogaroo will land a nice Fissure. No, will actually get stunned through it, then Death Ward's being channeled from our side. This is an Aghanim Death Ward. It's going to clean up everybody. Somebody had to stop that Witch Doctor. I thought for sure it would have been the Shaker. He had the totem. He was almost ready to land the Fissure hit with the totem to cancel off that Death Ward, but he got a full channel of that with Aghanim Scepter level 2. You cannot let that happen if your house is down. You cannot do that. That is just disastrous for them. Ravage was used as well. I mean, they used all their ultimates, so it wasn't just the Death Ward, but still, the Death Ward. You gotta cancel that, guys, because it will wreck you if you leave it unchecked. They're pushing into Marching Machines top 5, so it looks like they're not going to get much done here. However, mid lane, Fly's going to put some serious damage on this mid lane tower. Force a TP out from the Earthshaker. Oh, Earthshaker, don't do that. Okay, he's going to blink away straight after. But top 5 getting a very nice fight, even though Earthshaker jumped in first, had the Echo Slam available with the Astral Spirit giving the Elder Titan aura, and they had an opening with Earth Splitter. Like, the fight could have gone so great for the houses down, but then suddenly Ravage Death Ward, and then they all die. And that's really bad for them. And what's even worse is that they're going to get their Ancient stack, which was 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Didn't get here until the 3rd. Possibly jacked. Most of them are going to die at the very least. Fly's going to get stunned up, as everyone is going to get stunned up, plus a Fissure to fly through. Morphly's going to get obliterated by Vestius' burst damage. Tinker's going to jump in for the Wraith King as well, whatever. Stuck behind. And I don't think he's going to escape, although TP, Enchant Totem, will disrupt that. Top 5, they play a little bit too greedy, and, well, they felt very confident in their chances. Morphling showing that he is far from invulnerable, this hero. He died so quickly, and really that's a lot thanks to Vestius' burst damage. That Soul Assumption meter was filled so damn quickly with the Fissure onto 4, plus the Familiar Stomps. His Soul Assumption bar was filled to the brim, and it was 100% unloaded on this Morphling, who I don't believe used his Ethereal Blade to actually amplify that damage, and I don't think the Tinker has his either, so it wasn't amplified anyway, but it was just so much damage. Oh, it was amplified by the Natural Order, which will make it do even more damage than it normally does. But now the tower is in trouble. Leposa does not have his Aghanim Scepter. The Courier is actually nowhere near the base, so he can't get that one up for quite a long time, unfortunately. If they had it right now, this could have been a high ground attempt, but now they have to face down Ravage, and that's a little bit troubling for the houses down. That's face down Ravage as well as Death Ward. Maybe the Death Ward's even scarier, who knows. They're going to take a little bit more time, though, and farm up their final items. Dagon, level 4 for the Tinker, so he's going to very shortly have that item maxed out, and then move towards the Ethereal Blade, most likely. I don't see why he wouldn't go for Ethereal Blade. This has definitely seemed like an Ethereal Blade game. Boogaroo, though, looking at 2 heroes in the mid lane. I know that looks tasty for an Echo Slam, but don't do it. Don't do it, because these heroes are really tanky. Boogaroo's going to instead track down everyone, as Vesti's getting chased down by Flies My Son plus whatever, but the perfect Familiar Stomps will slow them down. And it looks like everyone is going to survive. Boogaroo's still stalking that Morphling, but the rest of the Familiars will fly to safety. Nothing that top 5 can do to catch up to them. Earthshaker's still just providing so much intelligence to top 5. He can even cancel his teleportation and then blink out. Yeah. What an annoyance, this Earthshaker. What a pain. But this will ensure Tinker enough time to pick up his Dagon level 5, so pretty heavy magical blast from him, which will of course be amplified by the natural order. You know, I guess with an Elder Titan on the Tinker's team, I don't mind going for the Dagon maxed out as much as I normally do, because he does have that amplification regardless. You need to try to go for the Witch Doctor, but Witch Doctor is really stacked now. Whatever's going to jump forward. There's the Ravage being committed onto Yuka. They should be able to bring this Tinker down. They do. Blast him down. Now NR7 is going to get a lot of damage drained out from him. Leposa's not hitting that hard just yet, but now he will be. And now he's going to be faced down a whole bunch of heroes. He has the ultimate active though, and already the Stapler going to town on the Morphling will bring him down. Leposa trying to chase down everyone. He will get a lot of minus armor on the Cat and whatever's going to be the first one to drop. Once again, it's Jubilu taking that kill, and now another Spirit going to fly out, extending the range of that aura. Cat will dodge everything, and he's still very tanky. He's going to man fight Leposa. Leposa doesn't have any more damage stolen from him. Booger's going to wander right in for an Echo Slam, though. Nobody stopped him. No blink needed. Fisher onto 2 now as Cat and Flies My Son both looking to go down. Here come the familiars for triple stuns. They have 1. They got 2. They got 3. And they don't even need 3 because Razor whipped down the Wraith King. Viper does manage to survive, albeit narrowly. And the house is down. They lose the Tinker, they lose the Earthshaker, but they keep Leposa alive. That Aghanim'd Eye of the Storm level 3 doing so much work there. Plus, the fact that Natural Order, I'm sure, made a lot of difference as well. They're going to crack the Tier 3 tower, and they're going to split their focus between range and melee. I think going for range is the correct order of business here, because they're going to, in fact, get nothing in the end as far as Raxes are concerned. But still, the house is down with that Tier 3 tower going to be sitting rather pretty in this game. They have a nice item advantage. They have been outplaying top 5 for the most part, and if they could keep stunning the Witch Doctor once he drops his Death Ward, they're going to be feeling golden, because after that fight, Jubilu's holding on to 29 or 2300 gold with the Elder Titan already holding that Heaven's Halberd, so evasion is up on him. The Dagon is up on Tinker, and that's at full blast. Visage has picked up his Aghanim Scepter quite a while ago, actually. Razor with the Aghanims heading towards the BKB, and Earthshaker has his Blink Dagger as well, now 1000 gold for him. The Morphling has been going for a BKB for a long time, but he actually hasn't been farming a whole lot, so ultimately this Morphling has been stalled out in the Ethereal Blade for quite a long time, and that's not really what you want. Cat is very tanky as the Viper, but he's actually not doing that much damage, so he's not going to be able to contribute that much unless they get good team fight from this Tidehunter and the Witch Doctor. Tidehunter has been going for a pipe for quite a long time now, and he's finally going to pick it up, or whenever the courier decides to get back to the base, he will pick it up, which will help an incredible amount versus this Tinker damage, versus amplified magical damage in general from the houses down. But the question is it going to be enough to help their team survive? Really, so much of the fight of top 5 hinges upon the fact that they need a Ravage to land, and they need the Witch Doctor to get a couple of seconds of his ultimate. You know, 1 or 2 seconds is all they need. If he gets disrupted, as soon as he drops that ward, then the fight is going to go south for top 5, and it's going to go south in a hurry. They're going to go for the mid lane now. There's a Spirit and the Stomp. Fly, go to sleep, man. Laser Blasts and Dagon Blasts. Morphling, he got completely obliterated, and I think that is a lot to do because of Natural Order. I would have thought for sure Morphling will be able to survive that, but apparently not. Whatever's going to jump in for a Ravage will catch 3. They're going to focus down Jubilu, but here comes the Tinker. Someone has to disrupt NR7. Fissure from long range will disrupt him, and Nuka going to jump forward for the kill onto Witch Doctor. Echo Slam now being committed onto Cat, as well as whatever. Flies My Son going to chase down Bugru, as will the rest of the top 5 side. Bugru is going to go down. Where's the Tinker? Where's the Razor? There they are. Get a kill off a couple on the sidelines. Cat now going to get his damage drained out, as Flies My Son does come right back up. Going to try to go for Vestius. He'll summon some more familiars. Going to keep a couple stuns off that will buy time for the post to get another kill there. Put the Eye of the Storm still on. Keeps on ticking, and is going to go for the rest of the top 5 heroes as Tidehunter goes down, and now Cat being chased down by Leposa. Minus armor, minus armor, minus armor with plus 224 swing. That's another huge Dagon Blast for the Tinker, going to drop Viper's unstoppable streak, and now the ranged Raxes are going to die. Where are the creeps? Someone get the creeps over here. There they are. Backdoor protection will be active, but not enough, and now they're going to go for the melee, and backdoor protection is no longer up. The Morphling is here, but he's facing down 3 heroes, and these are the 3 heroes that you really don't want to be facing down. Maybe if Earthshaker was here, he would try to go for a shotgun pick, but it's just not going to happen. If he gets in range, if that happens with the Elder Titan aura, that would have been 100-0 easily. In fact, it might just be Yuka going to continue to give chase. Has a rearm, has Soul Ring. He's not going to do it. He's going to play it a little bit conservatively. Would have liked to see that, just because I would have wondered if he was able to put out that damage, but he's going to fall back for now. Top 5. They lose their middle racks, and now their bottom lane is going to take a little bit of pressure, though this could be a defense from top 5 realistically. Flies My Son going to teleport behind them. The stomp is going to happen. Flies My Son going to throw the stun onto Jubilee. Where's the shotgun blast from Fly? There's the death ward onto Jubilee, but I don't think it's going to hit anyone else. The post in the meantime has killed off the Wraith King. Now we're going to change his focus to NR Sevi. The Familiar is doing so much damage. The post needs another blast from Lightning, but the Ghost Scepter is keeping him alive for now. Not for long, though. Leposa still alive with the BKB still available to him. You can throw out another Plasma Field. Here comes Tinker. Burst damage to top 5. Fly. He's going to take so much damage, though he won't go down just yet. Another Dagging Blast won't be enough. Fissure won't be enough either. Booger's going to close in. Doesn't have an Echo Slam. Yuka's going to teleport out, and Leposa sitting in the BKB, doing as much damage as he could possibly dream of doing. Another Plasma Field to be thrown out, but it's not going to do anything as whatever does jump right back in for Leposa. They don't have enough damage to kill off this Razor, though. Tinker's going to come right back in. Yuka is going to unleash his combo onto Cat. Rearm it. Actually got interrupted during that rearm, so got to rearm again. Yuka got to rearm. Run, Yuka, run. He's going to blink out. Rearm. Blink out. TP. He sticks the landing. I can't believe Yuka survived that. He's back at home, safe and sound. And the house is down. Though they don't manage to take down the tier 3, they lose the Elder Titan in exchange for the Wraith King. I think the Witch Doctor died as well. Yes, he did. The house is down pretty much just flexing their muscles. They just showed how much damage they can put out, how tanky they are. And top 5, they just don't have any tools to deal with this. I think this Morphling would have benefited so much by picking up a Lincoln Sphere. It would have saved him from Soul Assumptions, and though you can pop it with Grave Chill, it also would have saved him from lasers and Daggons and all that good stuff. Vesius once again get hit with the shotgun, but the Gravekeeper's Cloak keeping him very much so alive. Again, going to drop a trio of stuns onto the Tidehunter. This support is not a support that you could very easily kill. And if you're a Morphling, you want soft supports. Visage is not that soft support. Whatever's going to be a little bit of trouble. Always has to watch out for this Tinker teleportation in, though it looks like Yuka has his hands full for the moment. If the Familiars get a triple stomp onto this Tidehunter with the Tinker teleporting in, that could very easily be a kill. Despite the fact that Tidehunter does have a pipe, Tinker's burst damage is intense right now, especially since he does have enough gold to finish up his Ethereal Blade if he does choose to go for that right now, or say for buyback. Either way, this Tinker is still dishing, and dishing really, really hard. And the Razor right behind that Tinker is now going to go for a Refresher Orb. The top 5 side, they just don't have enough damage to kill off this Razor. We've seen it time and time again. And with the Refresher Orb, Eye of the Storm active, he's going to be able to shred top 5. And top 5 are going to force to be doing nothing but watch. I mean, maybe if they get the Death Ward combo going, as I was talking about earlier. But since this fight up on top lane where they absolutely cleaned house, it just hasn't happened since. Like, the Ravage and Death Ward have not clipped as many people as they really would have liked top 5, and that's costing them these team fights consistently. They can't have that happen, and their damage isn't coming up either. It's a Blink Dagger for Viper. It's not a terrible item for Viper. Like, there are certainly worse items to get, but in this scenario, I don't know if the Blink Dagger is correct. It kind of serves the same purpose as Aghanims, is that you could get long-range slows off, and you keep yourself alive, but it's a little bit too one-dimensional for my taste, because top 5, they need damage. That's been harping about that fact for a little while, but Fly isn't doing it. He has 1,000 gold. He has only Ethereal Blade BKB 40 minutes in. I don't know if he's been forced to buy back at all, but at any rate, he's not farming, at least not in comparison to this Tinker and to this Razor. They're farming up a Storm, and they have Refresher? Hell yeah, full Refresher Orb up for Leposa. The Lightning is going to be striking, and it's going to be striking often. They're going to, all 4 of them, group up down on bottom with Tinker still pushing up top, trying to take down that tier 2 tower by himself. There's the Fissure to open things up, and it Flies My Son, but a lot of damage returned to the Blade Mail. Flies My Son going to drop immediately as they do pop the double ultimate from the Razor. Going to sit in the middle of everyone and take no damage in the meantime. Leposa is nigh unkillable. They don't have the Tinker in this fight. They don't need the Tinker in the fight. Leposa's doing everything, literally 1v5 with the rest of his team, just providing a little bit of damage with that with the Elder Titan Aura. It's a triple kill for Leposa. Now he's changing his sights for whatever. If they get a beat on him, he won't be able to blink out, but it looks like he will not be able to. In fact, the last Eye of the Storm tick is going to kill him off, and he's going to stand still and accept his fate, giving up an ultra kill to Leposa. I don't think the Tinker was there in that fight. And if he was there, he didn't contribute a lot. It was 100% Razor, with the BKB active, with double Eye of the Storm, and with top 5 not being able to focus Razor at all. That is going to be GG. This Morphling unable to provide for his team, and though the team fight in theory was there, it just didn't come together correctly. So guys, that is going to be it. The end of this best of 2 series, and ultimately it's going to be a 1-1 tie, with top 5 taking the first game, The house is down, taking the second. That is going to be it for me today. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed the cast. I hope you did. If you did, then make sure to follow the channel, both HeflaTV 1 and HeflaTV 2, which is where you are right now. So hit that follow button, hit the follow button at the other channel as well, so you get all the notifications and whatnot. And yeah, if you want to follow us more in depth, then that'll always be the Twitter and Facebook. That's twitter.com/HeflaTV, facebook.com/HeflaTV, and all the VODs should be up on youtube.com/HeflaMoke soon enough. As for me, I am Mike Loris. I hope you enjoyed the cast. It's been a while since I've solo casted, and hopefully it will be a while before I solo cast again. A lot better with a little more people. More people equals more fun, but that should be it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. GG.